Doom v. Vamos Vivamus Epicureans. This is the BCE Comics Pod one-shot edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'm joined by...
Stojr from Stojr Shelf. How's it going, Nick?
I'm doing well, particularly since we are participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club. I got it right that time. And this one-shot is going to be our brief thoughts on today's issue, which is not changing on the screen. There it goes. Uncanny X-Men number 197, To Save Arcade. Alright, so Colossus and Kitty Pryde wake up in Murder World, and it seems that Dr. Doom is out for revenge against Arcade, and so Arcade is trying to get the help of the X-Men to save him. Well, Kitty and Colossus go along to find out what is happening, and during which they seem to be able to patch up their friendship. In the end, it turns out that Arcade hired his aide-de-camp, Miss Locke, to try to kill him as a birthday duel, and this is how we know Arcade is insane. The Lamborghini he then drives off in afterwards is also what tells us that he's a spoiled rich kid. Alright, in the end, we see Storm awaking in the Serengeti, who's not dead after her previous meeting with those twins, but she is alive and fighting off some vultures. Alright, Stojr, what are your thoughts here?
I was just bored by this issue, to be honest with you. I feel like it's just filler. I think the art's fine, a little bit washed out, but that's sort of par for the course for this era, whereas some of the other issues that we've seen have had a little bit bolder colors, a little bit darker lines. Not a major concern to argue about, and not something that's the same on every page. Some pages are better than others. The first couple pages were just kind of confusing, unnecessarily so, but you get to the point that Colossus is dealing with some trauma. You're reminded about that. It's better than reading a recap page, I guess. But and then you get the fact that they're stuck there in Murder World. I think Arcade has just this sort of one trick of just putting people in his Murder World, and it's starting to wear a little thin on me. I feel like there's potential with his character that you could do other things with, and I don't think that they ever do anything else with. So that's confusing and annoying. The sort of subplots with Scott and his wife Madeline are, I guess, somewhat interesting to move things along. I made a joke in the Discord that hey Madeline, don't read ahead. That he's going to completely leave you later. But now I'm scratching my head. I guess they do reconvene at some point, so this isn't the final. This isn't him ditching her. That will happen later. But it's not much. It's not that far in the future, if you know anything about where some of this storyline's going. The Nimrod stuff is still a bit confusing to me, in the sense of only confusing not because of what's on the page, but confusing from the standpoint of what I would imagine the motivations of that character is. Like, it looks like it's trying to be some sort of like good guy hero or something like that, and killing anybody who messes with it. And I also feel like that this is just an excuse for Claremont to kind of get back at Byrne and say, oh no, we do have Doom and Arcade together because, in Byrne's run, after some things happened to, 50 issues or so ago, there was the fact that Doom blew up one of his Doom bots for letting it, Arcade talk to it in a certain way after the X-Men issue. So there's a little bit of that sort of back and forth about using the Doom character there. And then the last point is I'll just point this out again. I don't other than the fact that we get a interesting looking Transformer, which I think is the sort of the idea here in this issue, to show something cool. It's like a train spider type of thing. But I still don't understand how he's able to build a teleporting robot like that. All the others you can explain away, but the Nightcrawler one drives me nuts. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, very similar. I'm glad that we're making a move to have Kitty and Colossus reconcile, and I think that's kind of the point of this issue. So that's fine. I did like this weird Doom train that they fight. And as you say before, the robots that can mimic the X-Men's powers, some of them are ridiculous, like the transporting. Storm is also maybe on the edge of that one, unless you can have effects from elsewhere in the building. But honestly, this storyline feels like we're just spinning the wheels and returning to past storylines. And this is not the only one. We just had that issue a couple of issues ago where we returned to the fight in Cheyenne Mountain in NORAD. And that one I thought was better done, but still, it was kind of retreading an old story. In the next issue, we are literally getting life death number 2. So it feels like we're just kind of stuck, that we're trying to recapture some of the high points of previous issues and not really moving forward. Or I mean, we're moving forward, things are changing, but it doesn't feel innovative, right? It feels iterative, I guess, is the cliche.
I feel like they know what they want to do on issue 200, and now they're stalling to get to that issue.
Sure, that could very well be it, because of course a centennial issue has to be big, right? But we're not going to get that in this epic. That's in the next one.
Yep.
All right, Stojr, any other final thoughts on this one?
No, other than if you saw me talking off screen, that's just because one of my kids came in to complain about one of the other kids. So, but other than that, no, I'm good to go.
Yeah, that's what kids do, right? All right. I don't know if this is our shortest episode on record, but boy, is it getting close there. All right. Well, if you guys enjoy our thoughts, again, follow us on YouTube. We're going to read, rate, and review a full Big Collected Edition comic once a month, plus these daily one-shots. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let's get the awesome outro with that arcade music in it. Oh, Stojr, we talked about that. The X-Men arcade game is going to get re-released. You're going to be able to get that on modern consoles soon. So
yeah, with some sort of multiplayer too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rethink my my music for this and for the other show, because I stole those from I borrowed them from video games that I thought the owners had given up the rights to because the publishing companies were gone. But if they're getting republished, maybe that's not the case. So, oops.
Yeah, I meant to. While I don't know if it's in the same video game, I meant to say that when we record the Nightcrawler ones, we're gonna have to swap out the Colossus sound for the Banff sound. But since we're doing that in a couple minutes, I think I was too late to mention it. So
yeah. I mean, I have time to get that done. All right. Well, use your imaginations for that one. All right. Thank you very much, guys. We'll catch you next time.